Good afternoon and welcome to PWN Global's webinar, today hosted by vocal coach and motivational speaker Liz Howard, who brings with her 30 years of stage experience and her beautiful mezzo-soprano voice. More recently, in the past few years, Liz has been taking her gift of her wonderful voice into organisations and showing them how the voice can really have an impact on how you're heard and consequently how you're perceived in your role. Without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Liz and she can give you a little bit more background on the colours of your voice.
Hello everybody. Thank you, Rebecca, for having me. I'm so thrilled. Believe it or not, everybody, I'm going to tell you the truth with love right now. You're my first webinar! Yay! So I think because I said yay, my computer automatically muted me out. Everybody can hear me now, right? Okay, so I hope everybody can hear me now. My iPad says that I'm in, like Flynn, so if not, then Rebecca, just jump in and tell me that you can't hear me. I'm very thrilled to be here, and I'm really excited that everybody has taken the time to learn a little bit more about communication. I've been coaching and giving seminars. I'm the first singer to actually do singing keynotes throughout Munich or Germany, Switzerland, Austria. I love my job. I love my job. And yeah, so that's about it. I coached X Factor and did all kinds of stuff, but I don't think that's really important. What's really important is that I'm here to inspire all of you today. So let's get started. I wanted to quickly talk about how some of us have a tendency to criticize our voice. And when I say criticize, sometimes it means, oh, I don't like my answering machine, or I don't like when I'm doing conference calls, or I don't like when I have to stand up in front of people and say something. Just all these different, actually the main sentence that I hear often is, I don't like. Just that, I don't like. And I hope by today I can inspire all of you to release the I don't like and start thinking positive thoughts like, oh, I really like the sound of my voice and I had no idea, and wow, and it's so big and it's gorgeous and it's lovely. And I'd love to just leave playful messages with my friends and my colleagues, and they often tell me, you know, Liz, we can't erase your message, and I understand why. It's because I've learned to be really playful with the sound of my voice, and I hope by the end of this webinar that you will be too. So if you're criticizing your voice, think about it like this. You're actually criticizing your little tiny best friend that lives inside of you. And we all have our best buddies, you know, our BFFs, and I know that we don't criticize them on purpose, so kind of think of it like that. It's your little best friend that's living inside your body, and you wouldn't want to criticize her, would you? No. So I'll just keep going. I'd like to also talk about how important it is for us to warm up our voices. What I found to be really interesting is if we take soft skills out of the equation and just think about warming up our voice and enjoying the fact of it. Isn't it interesting let's take Tiki Galana, who won the Olympic gold medalist in 2012, or I'm sure she jogged around the track a couple of times just to warm up her body. Or Venus Williams, who we all know is this famous tennis player. How many balls did she hit before she decided to, step into her match? And my favorite, Adele, I love her, but I'm more than positive Adele warms up with her pianist at least an hour before she walks out on stage. And I have learned that most positive singers and actresses and actors who want to grow, even disc jockeys, take the time to warm up their voice. And what happens is you end up giving a wonderful kind of your aura changes. You have a wonderful appearance, and people become addicted to that. So I thought I'd give you a couple of exercises that you could do every day, any day, sitting behind the computer, on your way to work, in your car. Take your favorite song, regardless of what it is, doesn't matter, and hum it first. I'll give you one of mine. I'll hum it. Go with the hum first, maybe hum it a couple of times, and then use the same song, and then you try using you know, like little kids when they drive the car and they're pretending they're driving the car and they're just like, where your lips are going out. Just try it. And go from that. And then the last one I would highly suggest is go with an R. Now, those of you, if somebody's here in Germany, that's that bayerische R. But it's your tongue is tickling the top of the roof of your mouth, so it's like and that's how it sounds. And you just warm up your voice and have fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you will realize what a warmth is coming. And you will know when your voice is warm when you swallow your saliva and it just slides down. It feels like it's going down a slide, and it just whoosh, goes. When you swallow and the saliva goes fast, then that is the first, oh God, you guys, I speak a lot of German, so I'm kind of pulling up English words here. That's the first indication that your voice is becoming warm. Now, I'll give you something else, just so that you can listen to this. I cheated a little bit. I did warm up my voice before I started this webinar, but if it weren't warm, it sounds a little bit more nasy. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children. And it sounds like the sound of your voice is almost hiding behind your vocal cords, going towards the back of your neck instead of the front. The more warm you are, the more your voice comes from behind your neck and stands in front of your vocal cords, and then it sounds like, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade. So you can hear the difference. So I hope that I've inspired you to take the time to warm up your voice. Test yourselves. Try your next meeting, try your next conference call, and warm up your voice before you talk to your next client or colleague or whomever it should be, and see what happens and how you feel. Every time I warm up my voice, I just seem to have a feeling of more confidence and more strength and more power. Okay, so let's move on. I just left you a couple of things that you might want to consider, even in the color of communication, and one is try to smile as often as possible, even when you're talking to somebody on the telephone. People can feel it. They can feel it when you smile, and it's just a nice feeling. So I thought I'd leave you with that. And I thought we all know this, but I just thought I'd say, you know, if you're multitasking and you've got to finish your lunch and you've got your next conference call coming in, tell the truth with love and tell them you're going to be 3 minutes late. Finish your lunch before you start your call. some people tend to take that a little on the negative side instead of the positive side. So I just thought I'd leave you with that. Now, this is one of my fun things that I really, really love to do, and it's talk about playing with our vowels. Now, vowels are really, really important, and I'll tell you why. First of all, if you learn to play, if I can inspire you to learn to play with your vowels, you have so many wonderful things you can do. You can touch another person's soul, which each vowel that you touch, at least that's what I feel. And you can get rid of the hoarseness in your voice if you are speaking a lot and you find yourself all the time. One of the things by opening your vowels can change that, and you will find yourself being less and less hoarse. One of the things that I like to say is, or that I've learned from experience, is if you are working with somebody who's really, really shy, and they come into your office and they say, for instance, Mrs. Jackson, I have this wonderful idea where you can be a little bit more successful in our company, and this person is really shy but brilliant, and you start to play with your vowels and open them more, this person will become addicted, do you hear me, ladies, to your enthusiasm, which means they'll come back. Now, I'll give you an example. If they come in and say, Mrs. Jackson, I've really got a great idea, and you know, shy people, they kind of talk a little bit more quiet, and they're really sweet, but we must recognize they're still brilliant, and they come to you and say, oh, I've got this really great idea, and I would really like to share it with you, and you give them sort of a, oh, yeah, okay, good. If you go to that level, it's hard to tickle that information out of them. But if you go to a level of, oh, yeah, great, what should we talk? They might not show you what they're feeling, but I guarantee you, they will leave your office with a smile on their face and in their soul, and they'll be back, and they'll keep coming back. So, having said that, I thought we'd play with our vowels just for a minute. And ladies, I know it sounds like vowel as in Victor. I'm not saying vowels, okay? Just so you know, it's vowels. Okay, so let's go to basic vowels that every singer, every disc jockey, every actor uses to warm up. And we'll start at the bottom where you see the A, and just say, ah. And you gotta open your eyes when you do it. You gotta say, ah, like that doctor's putting that wooden stick down your throat. That's the same sound, basically, ah. And make sure that you open your mouth. Don't be afraid to open your mouth. And the next one going up on the left-hand side is hey, hey. So, ah, hey. And the top one is ee. And you really have to squint your nose and your eyes to get it right. Ee. So now we have ah, hey, ee. And on the other side is oh. And I always try to inspire people to use a really nice, juicy, I'll call it a juicy American O. Oh. Because you can use that when people ask you a question, and you can say, oh, I love that. Oh, what a great idea. Oh. And people laugh. So you might as well have fun with it. You're getting you're winning that positive energy back on your side. And my favorite also is you, you, you. Now, there's one thing that I've noticed in all the times that I've been coaching, especially women in top, they're top authority, and they're really high up the hierarchy. And when they come to me, have you ever noticed that some of your colleagues, they have a little bit of a, when they smile, it's almost, they kind of look like a bulldog. They're kind of gritting their teeth, and you're just waiting for that to come out. But they're kind of smiling, but they're not really opening their mouth, and their teeth kind of stay together. That's what happens a lot of times, I've come to find out, when we have a lot of stress because we're swallowing that stress. But playing with your vowels will release that and bring back that warm, feminine aura, appearance that you have in your face. It'll bring it back. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie from Jim Carrey, The Mask. If not, Google it when we get off this off our webinar. But look at his face, and that's what I'm talking about. It's stuck. But the more you play with your vowels and the more fun you have, you can release that. And what happens is, in the singer world, we call that the mask. And when the mask is warm, because what you're doing when you're playing with your vowels is you are going on the treadmill and you're kind of warming up. And the more warm you are, the more wonderful appearance you have, the more positive you are, the more you can play with the sound of your voice. Let me give you a quick example. Which one do you like? You can write to Rebecca and tell her, number 1 or number 2. This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. Or, this is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. All I did was play with my vowels. That's all I did.
Yep, number 2, Liz, people are saying.
Okay. So you see what I'm saying? Now, I just want to say this quickly. A lot of times when I'm coaching people, I hear, but Liz, I can't make my mouth that big. People are going to laugh at me. Ladies, I can tell you, in all the coachings that I've ever done, in all the times that I've ever been on the stage, as a singer or a speaker, I have never, ever, ever had someone come to me afterwards and say, God, you're really ugly on stage. Never. Because people become addicted to the way you sound. And they love it so much, they don't really see your face anymore. They are just hungry for what you're spitting out. So enjoy it. Have fun with it. Let's go. Just do the vowels one more time. Vowels, ladies, not bowels. Vowels with V as in Victor, okay? Remember to open your eyes. And I highly suggest do it in a mirror. Get your little makeup mirror out. Do it while you're brushing your teeth. All these things. Okay, here we go. Open your eyes. Hey! Open your eyes and smile. Ee! And E comes from B-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. It's the same E, okay? E! And on the other side, oh! Make sure your mouth is really big. Oh! And if you think it's big, make it bigger. Oh, and my favorite, of course, is you. Play with your kisses and then say the you. And remember, you're warming up your mask. You're warming up those muscles. You're on the treadmill with your voice, and you're just warming it up. And have fun. Okay, so let's move on. I'd like to talk a little bit about how energy and breath make a lot of sense. And again, for those of you who may have problems with becoming hoarse too quickly, or maybe you just need a really good answer or thought to answer this next question that could be extremely challenging. Energy and breath have a lot to do with each other. In other words, they're the yin and yang inside your voice. And when you learn to play with them and master them, You will be amazed. So I know that all of you are sitting down listening to this phone call. So how about this? How about you close your eyes for just a second? Just close your eyes for just a second and visualize that you're taking breath. You're taking breath from your hips and into your back. And count it 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold it. 2, 3, 4, and release it. 2, 3, 4. Do that just a couple of times. It's a visualization with breath, but I guarantee you, when you learn to just master this little secret that I have, you will be amazed at how more quickly you can come to an answer, come to an idea, get into your creativity, and really start enjoying how you're speaking. So just try it again. Close your eyes. Visualize that you're breathing from your hips into your back, and you inhale and you think 1, 2, 3, 4, and you hold it. 2, 3, 4, and you let it go. 2, 3, 4. Just do it a couple of times. Now, we're going to have a little bit of fun. While we're doing that, I'm going to go to the piano. I am not a pianist, ladies. I'm not a pianist. And I think Rebecca is going to try to open some of you so that you can tell me. And I want you guys to tell me where I should breathe. Like I say, breath and energy. You guys, please don't let me die, okay? So I'm going to sing a song, and when you think I should breathe, just shout out, breathe, okay? And you'll see how important is breath matters with our energy if we want success. Can everybody hear me and say yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So just tell me where to breathe. I'm not going to breathe.
Now. Breathe. Breathe.
Thank you. Let's try it again.
Breathe.
Wow, you guys let me go a long time there. I'll do it one more time just so that you can feel it. And trust it. Don't think about it. Feel it. Tell me when to breathe. No.
Breathe.
Breathe. Breathe.
Very good. Very good. So you see, the point that I'm trying to make, thank you, Rebecca, the point that I'm trying to make is energy and breath matter. So a lot of times we feel that we have to be really quick, get it out, 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 get it out. Did you hear how I just did that? And that's how sometimes we sound in our meetings when we're communicating instead of get it out. Say what you need to say. And what happens is when you master that, taking it from your hips into your back, and you hold it, and you enjoy it, it's actually less time than what you think, and you always have the right to take a breath. It's your right, it's your creativity, it's your energy, so you might as well start to enjoy it. Okay? Good, let's keep going. Last thing I want to talk about before we get into colors is business stage fright. We all have it. I know we do, even though maybe some of us may not want to admit it, but I've been there, believe me. Speaking the first time in German for lawyers, I was scared to death. I had that business stage fright. Oh my God, is my grammatic good enough? Am I good enough? Will they understand? Will they understand what I'm trying to teach them? All these things. sometimes business stage fright can also be, am I good enough? Which, what I've learned comes a little bit from our ego. So what I've learned to do is basically put my ego aside, breathe where I just taught you, go into your hip, close your eyes, take a breath, think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and breathe out, and 2 and 3 and 4, and then when those little voice starts popping up, you're not good enough, or you haven't prepared enough, or I don't know if they're going to like this, or I hope that I'm prepared, or they're not going to like my idea, or they're going to laugh at me. What I do is I just hum it away. I just hum it away. I take my favorite song, one of my favorite songs, and I smile at it, and I just say, get out of here. But when you breathe and you do it, you realize that it's a little part of our ego, but it's also a little part of the fear wants to challenge our creativity, and you can just let it go. And that's what I've learned to do, and believe me, I've had to do it on numerous occasions, and it really, really works. So enjoy taking your breath, and when you hear those words, including I'm sorry, so that we don't have to say I'm sorry, instead come up with, oh, you're going to love this idea, you're going to love this, I've been working on this. Just, in other words, we'll throw out the negative with a hum and a breath and exchange it for a smile and a positive reaction, and then go out and kick some butt, okay? And when you do it, this is what you should feel like. I just love that. Now, you know that cat is purring and humming at the same time and saying, I know you guys wish you could get me, but guess what? I'm too strong. So there we go. Okay, ladies, let's get it. Let's talk a little bit about the color of communication, which is, I love this topic. Actually, I was inspired to do this from a colleague of mine. Her name is Shrubs, and she's in Germany, and she does it with business as far as working with colors. And I thought, how cool would it be to start really going into the back of it and figure out what do we sound like with our colors, and what should we listen for. So, and this is what I came up with after doing a lot of research. First one, let's go with blue quickly, shall we? Now, what I've come to realize is our blue people like to get to the point. And you can hear it, the sound on the telephone, you'll hear things like, yeah, yes, okay, when can I have it? Great, I look forward to it. Do you hear the sound of my voice? It's very sop, 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 pow, pow, pow. And with blue people, from the sound of blue, they tend not to show their emotion because it's about being perfect. So I'm sorry any blue people out there are listening to me right now, and I'm talking about you. Don't take it personal, but this is what happens, and they need it. They need, get to the point, do it now. They need figures, numbers, and let's do it. And you need to promise to get back to them as soon as possible. So how do you communicate with a blue person? Practice what you want to say before you call them, and say it. And make sure that you come up with a couple of numbers. Make sure that you come up with a couple of figures. And you can tell when the blue person is starting to relax when you're talking to them on the phone, because you'll hear them, they'll let out a little bit of a sigh. And when they do that, then you can go up in your voice. Is there anything else I can get you, Frau Jackson? Did you understand my concept? Do you have any questions? Otherwise, try to remain with blue people. on the telephone is the only time I say that we are allowed to remain a bit monotone. And monotone is just, you don't really play with the sound within your voice. You just kind of keep it a little bit monotone, and you take it from there. Now, if you're meeting this person, this blue person in person, how do you know they're blue? Look at the way they're dressed. They're always dressed from head to toe immaculate. Everything matches. Everything is perfect. There are no wrinkles. That's how you know that they're blue. And you'll often see how they fold their arms. They want to keep to themselves. All these things is what I recognize to be blue. And like I say, just stay monotone in your voice until you see them open their arms. Once they open their arms, you know that you've got them, and then you can change your voice a little bit from monotone and put a little bit more expression in it. Not too much, but just a little bit, just like I just did. Okay, that's blue. Now yellow. Yellow people. Oh, they're fun. They're fun. And you'll recognize them normally immediately on the phone because they'll laugh. They laugh over themselves. They laugh with people. And when you're doing business with a yellow person, the thing that you have to stress the most is that this person is going to have fun with your project. That's the number one. Number two, go ahead and make them laugh. And number three, if you got a joke, tell them. How do you recognize a yellow when you're sitting face to face with them? Normally, they have something funky on, and funky in a good way. If it's a woman, maybe she's got some really cool earrings on that are just stand out, or her glasses kind of stand out, or she's got a really crazy fingernail polish, or she's got some really crazy shoes on. There is going to be something there that says, okay, this person's got yellow in them. It's not going to be like the blue, dressed immaculate from head to toe, everything matches. No, this person has to come out somehow, so they normally either wear something, and with men, they might wear a kind of funky looking tie, or look at their socks. I have seen yellows wear Charlie Brown socks, some sort of cartoon figure, and then you say, closet yellow, so you know, okay? And like I say, the best thing that you can do is to make them laugh, and let them know that with your project, when they work together with you, they're going to have lots and lots of fun. Okay? So, just so that you know, yellow. Let's move on to green. Now, green have been my biggest challenge in business, and that's why I really went back and started to research this. Green people, you can tell, they normally talk also very soft like this. They tend to hold back the expression in their voices. They don't mean to. That's just how they are. But what happens is with green, what I've recognized is ask as many questions as you can. And you keep asking questions until they are ready to say, now, Mrs. Howard, how can I help you? And remember what you asked. Remember the answers so that the next time you go back, you can follow up on the questions that you asked. In other words, with green people, you got to get a little personal, just a little personal. And the positive part of that is once you've won them over, you have somebody in your corner for the rest of your life. So enjoy that. Enjoy being with green. And enjoy asking them questions. How do you know? When you're face to face with them when they're green, they will tend to dress in kind of tan or brown or gray. Women I've noticed wear very little makeup, if any makeup at all, maybe a little lipstick, maybe a little mascara, but most times they're they prefer not to. They're natural women, which is really cool. It's all right. But when you recognize it, just remember, ask questions. Look around our office. Why? Like the pictures. Is that your family? Wow. How long have you been in business? Oh, you're a mother. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Recognize those things and react on them, and you will have won a client forever. It took me a long time to learn that, because I used to think that they hated me until I realized it was the way I was communicating with them. So I hope I can give you that, okay? And red, oh, red, red. Your red people are really loud, talk really fast, and really loud. Really fast, really loud, really fast, really loud, really fast, really loud. And what you've got to do to communicate with them with the sound of your voice is just breathe and go as quiet and as soft, but with expression or passion. Breathe, go quiet, and go soft. And then they will calm down and meet you on another level. How do you know when you're dealing with red? Like I said, they're really loud and they talk really fast. Really loud and really talk really fast. And they will have a tendency to interrupt you. What did you say? What do you mean? I don't understand that. No, I didn't get that. No, I didn't get that. And they tend to be in denial sometimes, because they're not really listening. They're multitasking in their mind, and they need to get things done and out of the way. So this is their sound. Breathe and go quiet. How do you know? When you're face-to-face with somebody red, you will know. You will immediately know, because they get really loud. And sometimes they have a tendency to not even apologize if they're interrupting you. They just need to get it out. They got to get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. And like I say, just breathe, smile, and play with the soft part with your vowels, with your voice, until they calm down and you have won. Okay? So, does anybody have any questions so far? This is the time to do it. Rebecca, any questions, any chats, anything? Shall I keep going?
I can't see any. Oh, we have a question come through from Stephanie Simpson, who is our previous Marseille president and has recently moved to Nice and is now co-vice president of Nice. She's asking, is it possible to be a mix of two people? And then
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry, go ahead, Rebecca.
I was going to give you two at once, Liz. So that one says, that Steph says, is it possible to be a mix of two people? And then we have Sabine Stocker, who is saying the red person has none. Amazing, I know. I'm not sure what that means.
I'm sorry, say it again. The red person what?
The red person has none. Amazing,
okay.
I know.
Well, to answer the first question, I'm not sure about how to answer the second one, but the first question is yes. First of all, I should have said this in the beginning. We're rainbows. I mean, we all have all of these colors, but one will stand out more than the rest, and that's the one that I'm talking about working with, so that you could just recognize it, so that you're able to communicate better in business. Because once you know this, you will have a lot more success. Just by feeling, I'm going to keep going, but I'd be interested to know, what color am I? What color do you think I am? Na, 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 na. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, we'll keep going. And ladies, believe it or not, I think that we should also, I just wanted to touch on this for just a second and say, we should also recognize the color of the PAs, the personal assistants, the secretaries of our clients, of our colleagues, because we all know that when we treat her with respect and love, she basically is the one who can influence your prospective client, colleague, whoever, to come over to your side. I've learned it the hard way. And I'm sure that you guys out there, that you agree with me. So, yeah, you guys see that little pistol. Okay. So how do we get the secretary? With the blue, of course, I have learned, oh, this is great. I love this. When I realize that the assistant is blue, and you can tell because she'll answer the phone, so for seminars, Howard. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You hear that sound? Da-da-da-da-da-da. She sounds like she's always extremely busy and stressed. And then I always say something like, hello, Frau Schmidt, can you give me a tip? I've been trying for 2 days to get in touch with Mr. So-and-so, and I'm just not getting through. The minute I ask her for a tip, I'm in like Flynn. Try it when you get the blue, okay? When you know that you have a blue secretary on the phone. And if she's green, I spend at least 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, I do. I can hear some of you going, oh, Liz, there is no way I'm going to spend 10 minutes talking to the secretary. But you'd be surprised what it's going to give you in the future. I spend at least 7 to 10 minutes talking to my green secretaries. How are you? How are the children? How are the plants? How's your garden? How's your father? Is he doing better? How are the kids? How is this? How is that? How? I just keep asking one question after another until she says, same as the green, I'm sure you wanted to talk to Mr. Whoever, and I'll tell you what, he's not here. But you know what the greens always tell me? Mrs. Howard, if you call back at 3:40, I will put you immediately through. Who won? Who won, ladies? So that's why I'm saying, spend your time talking to the greens. And what's interesting is then my clients come back to me and say, my secretary really loves you. It doesn't matter where I am, she always finds me and says, Frau Howard or Mrs. Howard is trying to get you. So it's success. It's, it's up to you. Up to you. You can see it as positive. I don't want to see it as positive. Okay, I'm going to get this opportunity. I'm going to take this opportunity. Or, well, I really don't want to spend that much time. It's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, let's go on to the next two. Yellow. Oh, well, now I spend a lot of time with yellows as well on the phone because we just like to play. I love to play. And sometimes I'll call the yellows and say things like, what are you wearing? Just to make her laugh. She knows it's me. Okay, I know you can't do that with a client that you don't know yet. But once my yellow secretaries get to know me, I play with them, and I love it. I love it. I love it. And I always tell them a joke. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Now, on the other hand, with the red, they will also answer the phone with hello, hello. So puts him there's hello. Almost a little bit like blue, but they're a little bit more breathy, I've come to notice. And just get to the point. What do you want? Or they give you the feeling, you're bothering me. Breathe and smile. Breathe and smile. And then just say what you want and get it done quickly. But I've noticed that when I smile on the phone to somebody red, they let go of that wall. They tend to let that go. If I say, hello, Mrs. Jackson, this is Liz Howard from Soul Food Seminars. Ah, hello, Mrs. Howard. You can hear the voice coming down, which means then you've got her. So just remember, breathe and smile. Breathe and smile. And you've won. Okay. So, any questions before we move on?
Just one question, Liz. Are
Okay,
you
well, since
are you orange?
okay. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, we don't have any questions.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. We do have one again, Stephanie. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I keep missing your questions here. It says, does it work for cold calls? So how do you define the person with cold calls when when you've not met them and you don't have any visual prompts?
Great, great, great question. Google them. See if you can come up with a picture. Google, 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 Google. And if you can come up with some sort of a picture before you make that cold call, you will have an idea just by looking at the picture. Really observe it. Is the person smiling? How is their body language? Are they sitting up straight? How are they dressed? Are they dressed blue? Are they immaculate? Or something a little off, like in yellow? If it's a woman, look at the earrings, look at her lipstick, look at her makeup. But Google the person. If you can get a picture of them before you make the cold call, you will have won. In other words, you're halfway there. Great question. Sorry. I do it all the time. Because I am not a fan of cold calls. I really am not. And I'll tell you this. Regardless, I can only give you this tip. I always do cold calls when it comes to communication on Thursday. I never, ever, ever do a cold call on a Monday. Ever, ever. I will wait till Thursday. I'll tell you why. And you know why, Stephanie. Because the next day is Friday. And so they're like, oh, one more day of work and I'm out of here and it's a weekend and yahoo, yippee-yah-yoo. And they're most of the time, in such a great mood. But have you ever done a cold call on a Monday? Oh, my God. People are like, what do you want from me? I'm back at work. Leave me alone. Bug off. That's why. Thursdays. And use my tip to ask the person in the cold call, can you give me a tip? How do I get this person? Works 99.8% of the time, I promise. Anybody else?
Nope, no other questions, Liz, at the moment.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to point this out to you for those of you who have actually started contemplating on how important it is with communication and the sound of our voice. I don't know, Rebecca, and you're from England, I don't know, did you know this? That actually with Margaret Thatcher, her entourage took her aside and told her that she needed to get coaching. Well, they didn't tell her, they just suggested it extremely highly. If you want to win the prime minister, you're going to have to get your voice coached. Apparently, it was a lot more up here somewhere. And when you're a politician, that's a little bit difficult to say to people, please vote for me and I will be your prime minister. So they deliberately changed her voice down to where it was this kind of deep kind of thing going on, where actually if she did, if she were still here, she could have had a lot of fun with her voice later on in years, making great phone calls. But God bless Margaret Thatcher. But I just wanted to point that out, how important it is. And the reason why I'm saying this is when we are communicating on the phone for the first time with somebody who is not aware of us, has never met us, we have no contact to this person. Remember this, the person on the other side of the phone who's listening to you, makes some sort of a, can you say, from their intuition, they make a decision whether they really want to meet you or not by the sound of your voice. So just remember that and learn to play with it so that you can have that connection even before you make the connection, if that makes sense to you. Okay? That's why I love to play with mine. And last but not least, I thought I'd share this with you as well. You know, Americans have decided, not just because of the politicians of what they do and how they do it, but also how they use the sound of their voice. Jimmy Carter won a lot also because of his Southern accent. You know, he had that nice little accent going on, speaking Southern, and women, we love that. I've been waiting for a man to come into my life that has a Southern accent. Says, hey, Elizabeth. It's just so charming. And Jimmy Carter has, I said that. Bill Clinton has it as well. He's got a little bit of that Southern accent going on, and that's really, really charming, whereas Hillary does not. I'm still trying to get in touch with her so I can coach her before this election starts, by the way. So anybody out there who knows Hillary, tell her Liz is waiting. Okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to point that out to you and let you know that how important that is. And last but not least, ladies, I thought we'd make a little jump together. Oh, yes, 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 yes. If you're going to go do a webinar with Liz, you got to come out and play with Liz. And I thought we could kind of play with your vowels just a little bit, see what you learned, and just play with your voice. And if somebody's in the office listening to you, you know what? Who cares? Just say, I'm on a webinar with Liz Howard, and she wants me to play with my vowels. Now, ladies, I'm going to tell you again, I am not a fabulous pianist, but I thought if you're gonna make a jump, if you're gonna jump, you might as well jump good, right? This is me jumping, by the way. How do you like that body language? If you could just hear me screaming, you'd be screaming, oh look, somebody left. They knew. They're like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this with Liz. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. And everybody knows this, right? So remember the vowels that I taught you. Ah, a, ah, hey, e, o, oo, ah, hey, e, o, oo. And I'm going to take you from, let me see. And everybody comes in with, I believe I can fly. I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. Now I know we need up to leaning on the air if I can see it, if I can hear it, if I just need it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. Think positive about your lives. When you're ready, you gotta get quiet and breathe. You got to ask a lot of questions and then breathe. When you got to get to the point and breathe with facts and numbers. When you get low, you got to play. I believe I can fly. So, ladies, I guess that's it with our webinar today. I hope you had fun. If you have any questions, this is the time to do it. And feel free to either write me an email at speak@soulfood-seminars.com, speak@soulfood-seminars.com, or you can Google me, or you can get in touch with me per Rebecca. And I really hope that you like me on my Facebook page, High Heels on the Front, Liz Howard. And I'm really looking forward to doing another one of these big guys with you soon in the future. And I'd like to thank you, Rebecca, for having me. And I hope I was able to give you a little bit of information about what it feels like to communicate with colors.
Liz, we'd like to thank you as well on behalf of PWN. Thanks for the effort that you've put in today. It comes across in volumes how much you enjoy playing with your voice and how passionate you are about it. So hopefully that has inspired some of our listeners today to go away and play with some of the exercises that you've shared with us to develop their impact in their meetings. Just so that everybody knows, for the purpose of the recording, PWN is a not-for-profit organisation, and it depends on kind volunteers, just like Liz, who are prepared to come and share their expertise with our women. If you have an expertise that you wish to share with us, and if you would like to host one of these webinars, please be in touch with me. The session has been recorded and it will be up on our website shortly.